All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's trade recap. And today I'm going to show you guys exactly how I banked 1.5K today, $512.20 across 3 accounts. And this was a trade. These are the executions. So you see, I'm not bullshitting around. This was the execution. Bank short over here, bank close over here. Perfect close. I mean, potentially I could have held it longer, but I would have probably been stopped out or break even. But anyways, bro, what a perfect trade. Let me quickly go over that shit. All right. So PM session trade. All right. Usually I only take trades on the AM session, but my model works like fucking clockwork, bro. And it works like honestly, bro. Wait, let me check that I'm okay. Perfect. Good, because I was recording this trade recap and it didn't record my audio, bro, for some reason. But anyways, my model fucking works anytime, anywhere, bro. Yeah. So I had a perfect setup, almost perfect setup on ES. On ES, I mean on PM session. So let me break it down to you. All right. So overall, first of all, morning session. All right. As you can see right over here, usually I only trade the AM session, but as you can see, we had this huge dump, huge move lower, and we left the sell side down over here. Overall bearish as well. So I'm bearish, and we retraced all this move back into equilibrium of the range. And then what ended up happening was this. Okay, as you can see right over here, my model requires a high time frame for value gap tap, unfilled for value gap tap, which is the 1 hour, 4 hour unfilled for value gaps or daily for value gaps, but they have to be unfilled. And as you can see right over here, ES tapped this 4 hour unfilled bearish gap. Now, when I go to the 5 minute, when I go to the lower time frame after ES tapped it, not only ES tapped it, but ES like swept all the SPY side. And then ES starts displacing lower and Nasdaq follows. Nasdaq displaces lower as well. Not only that, we put in an SMT, right? So as you can see right over here, ES that was this low, this high. So ES takes this high and taps this unfilled 4 hour, but NQ, okay, does not. All right. So we have a bearish SMT, and then we get the displacement lower with 5 minutes for value gaps to the downside, which is my model. I need that after a high time frame for value gap has been tapped, I need to see displacement in terms of 5 minutes for value gaps or 15 minutes. And pretty much what ended up happening is that we got the retracement, but all right, as you can see right over here, okay, we barely tap this. So we like tap it by not even a tick. Maybe we didn't even tap it. I'm not really sure. And which ended up, what ended up happening is that these are perfect equal highs, right? Devil's mark candle over here, equal highs over here. So I was like, all right, bro, we're coming back up to sweep that and actually tap that 5 minute for value gap. Like I was not gonna short until we have a resweep of that high and create a new leg. All right. So I was waiting and we got all this accumulation right over here. So if some of you guys know PB trading, this is called the PDI model as well. So that was kind of a PDI with my own matrix model. All right. And then after we got that resweep of the equal highs, all right, what ended up happening as well, whoops, where did we go to? What ended up happening as well, let me fucking delete that shit as well. What ended up happening as well is that we opened up a 15-minute unfilled for value gap, a 15-minute bearish for value gap. Plus, we had these perfect equal highs right over here. So I was like, all right, bro, we're tapping that. And then from there, I'm taking shorts. So I was waiting patiently. We got the sweep of the equal highs, tapped the 15-minute for value gap, and now the highest time frame inversion in the leg of the leg. Because right now the new leg, obviously. So until we got that resweep, all right, the leg was this, all right? This was a trading leg, all right? So I had to wait for the highest time frame inversion of this leg in order to take the short, but I did not like it, and I was waiting for another resweep of this high. All right. After we got it, the highest time frame inversion in the leg was this one. We got it right over here with this candle. I entered right over here. My stop was 12.5 points because I didn't want to see price come back like over here. If price comes back right over here, then this trade is not valid and not worth sticking to it. Now, originally, I was aiming, my draw was these New York AM sell side, but I was aiming for a 1 to 4 hour, which was pretty much 50 points, which is $1,000 with one mini. So because I risk one mini with Alpha Futures, on 50K, on my 50Ks on Alpha Futures, I risk one mini per trade. I do not go lower than that, and I do not go higher than that. So a 12.5 point stop loss with one mini is $250. And usually my 1 to 1 is $500, which means 25 points. And then my 1 to 2 is 50 points for $1,000 in profit. So I was aiming for that 1 to 2, basically by a 1 to 4 hour trade, which, by the way, played out, bro. So I could have been like, I could have made more money today, obviously, but ES took this low before NQ did. So what ended up happening, we had a bullish SMT at this low. Now, at this point, I don't know whether the market really wants to go lower towards this low and that low, right? You don't know that. Yeah, maybe you can say, oh, I know it's gonna go lower. No, it's gonna go lower. No, you don't know, bro. All right. It doesn't matter how perfect your trade is. The market can do whatever it wants to do, right? So it doesn't matter. So once we had this bullish SMT, I was like, all right. I was up $600, something like that, and I decided to trail my stop to $500 in profit. So I was like, all right, I'm securing a 1 to 2 RR today. All right, I'm securing $500 of profit today. If the market wants to keep going down, all right, and give me that 1.4 take profit, bro, hell yeah, perfect. But I'm not gonna allow myself to be up $600 and then get back and get stopped out at break even. Like, I was just not, like, I know myself, and I know that if I am gonna get stopped out at break even after being up a lot of money, then I know it's so bad for my psychology, especially that yesterday I took a loss. I know that my psychology is gonna be really bad, and I know that I'm gonna be fucking pissed as fuck. All right. So in my eyes, I do not care about the being greedy and going for that 1 to 4 R. All right. I was perfectly happy with securing that $500, especially that it was PM session. PM session usually does not have great price action, especially after the AM session has been dumping, right? So like the morning session got a crazy move. Wait, is the lighting fine? Nah, bro. Wait. Let me open the window. Bro, the sun was crazy before, so now like I close the shades. But anyways, um yeah, I'm recording. Perfect. Anyways, so I was perfectly fine with securing that $500. Like, I was perfectly fine. So I was like, all right, I'm trading my stop loss to $500 in profit. If it gets stopped out, bro, I made 1.5 thousand today. But if it keeps going down, bro, I'll make it $3,000 today, which is amazing. But again, I'm not willing to risk the profits I already have. This is one tip I can give you guys, that if you guys have never taken a payout before, if you guys have never been, you see, now the sun is in my fucking eyes, bro. Jesus. So this is a tip I can give you guys, that if you guys never taken a payout before, or you're still unprofitable, guys, make sure that if you are in a trade and you're running in good profit, all right? I'm not saying, bro, your trade like I'm not saying like, okay, you entered the trade here, this is the candle, move your stop to break even or to profit. Like, obviously, I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about, so let's say you're like, let's say, look at this trade. All right, let's do this trade as an example. All right, you entered the trade right over here. You're running him so nice profit now. Next candle, like, this is very good profit. All right, now, instead of you guys holding for your final take profit, and okay, your stop is a break even. All right, now your stop should be a break even, right? Because we took all this liquidity, right? So we took this internal low, right? So now your stop is a break even. All right, a lot of you guys would leave your stop at break even and then let the trade run towards your final take profit. But guys, you already have $500 secured in profit, right? Like, not secured, but you're running $500 in profit right now, or whatever amount of you're risking. Okay, you're like in some serious profit right now, like a 1 to 2 RR. Like, you're good, man. All right. So don't let those profits run away from you. You already have them. You're in a trade in profit. Take those profits. Now, I'm not saying close the trade completely, all right? But I am saying, all right, start training your stop loss into profit. Start securing $100, $200. Oh, it moves. Okay, so we had the next candle and the next candle. All right, so okay, we moved a little bit. Now trail more. All right, now your stop is at $300 in profit. All right. Now you can secure those. Okay, a little bit more. Now my stop is at $500 in profit. And now you don't care. Of course, you want the full take profit to be hit, but you don't care anymore because you already, now I've secured $500, bro. And look at that. The trade actually, like, it went against me, bro. I could have been stopped at a break even, right? So secure your profits, all right? If this is one thing you can take from this video, is secure your profits, especially if you've never taken payouts before, if you're still not profitable, or at least you still have no proof that you're profitable, bro. Take those profits. You have to secure profits, all right? Even if it's just a winning day of $200, bro. Take that $200 because you do not know what the market is gonna do next, right? Because we had this SMT and then price retraced, right? So yeah, I got a very good entry, and I would honestly probably not be stopped at a break even, or like maybe I would. I'm not sure. Like it could have stopped me out of break even, but you just have to make sure you secure profits. All right, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't care if you want to go for that 1K. I don't know. Don't try and pass these accounts in one day, one trade. What, like, secure profits. All right, make sure you secure profits, especially if you're already in some nice profit in that trade, bro. Take those profits and finish, bro, and finish your day, bro. All right, so yeah, so this was a trade, guys.
The market is closed.
The market is closed. You heard it? All right. So, guys, take your trades. All right. Sorry, take your trade. This was the trade. All right. 500 across 3 accounts. So pretty much a 4.5K is almost secured now. I got the 5 winning days. Just need a little bit more profit to secure that 4.5K payout on these accounts, which is gonna be fucking awesome. So a 4.5K out incoming. If you guys want me to make a video about it, no problem. And yeah, this was a trade. Executions, everything, profit, amazing. 3 accounts, bang. All right. So, TP Smasher Day, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.